of Mr. Raghupati. Mr. Raghupati will make his presentation. After we listen to him, we can ask him our questions. And you can ask your questions via email, and or you can also send messages through the chat box. I repeat, you can send email to ed@agricultureinformation.com. And I will ask the same questions to Mr. Raghupati. And if we have time, I may unmute one or two members in the audience so that you can directly interact with Mr. Raghupati. Mr. Raghupati, I am unmuting you now. You can start your presentation.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, we can hear you.
A very warm good afternoon. I am Raghupati. I am in Tamil Nadu. I am in Tanjavur district, the Delta district of Kaveri Basin. I am into dairy business, dairy farming for the past 4 to 5 years and attempting to improve the performance, the efficiency and making the dairy farming a successful, profitable venture. Because dairying is an important source of subsidiary income to small and marginal farmers and agriculturists, as you all know. We get manure from animals, which provides a very good source of organic matter for improving soil fertility and crop yield. The gas from the dung is used as a fuel for domestic purposes. The surplus fodder also, as a byproduct, are gainfully utilized for feeding the animals. Agriculture being most seasonal, there is a possibility of finding gainful income throughout the year through dairy farming as a subsidiary business. Now, this provides employment throughout the year, as everybody can acknowledge. Now, what about the scope of the dairy farming and its importance? The total milk production in the country for the year 2008-9 was estimated at 100 million metric ton, and the demand is expected to be around 180 million tons by the year 2020, which is almost double from the present standards of production. To achieve this demand, the annual growth rate in milk production has to be increased from the present 2.5% to 5%. Hence, there is a tremendous scope for potential for increasing the milk production through profitable dairy farming, which is the main scope, a broader vision of this seminar. Now, coming into the subject proper, what I would be willing to share is mostly from my experience and also from knowledgeable sources that I have come across, the experience, the professional guide and all other things. The basic aspect of dairy farming is as follows. Now it has to start, if you are going for a larger dairy farming in the initial stage itself, which I would say is not advisable, because if anyone is into this business, entering as an entrepreneur, agripreneur, or having an idea of starting a dairy farming, I would suggest starting with around 4 to 5 milk animals would be ideal. And we have to look at the various aspects of dairy farming from the early stages itself. Basically, the green fodder, or what do you call in local language, the green output from any field. For example, I can say it is CFSO 29 or Sesbania grandiflora or Suba grass or Muconoideas. So like that, one can go in for cultivating and rearing these green fodder as the main supply of food for the milk animal. If you are going to depend on the what do you call this if one has to depend on concentrated feed, I would
Audience, are you able to hear? Mr. Raghupati, there is just some disturbance from your side. Okay, he's got offline. Let's wait for few 2 minutes. Mr. Raghupati, are you back? Mr. Raghupati? Mr. Raghupati, we are unable to hear you. I can see your message. Mr. Raghupati, we are not able to hear you. I think you log out and re-log in. Mr. Raghupati, you can log out and re-log in. Mr. Raghupati?
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, please continue now.
Can I continue?
Yeah, it's been already 10 minutes gone. Mr. Raghupati, please continue.
Hello.
Yeah, please continue.
Yes, yes. Hello everybody. Sorry for the disturbance. As usual, some problem with the rural remote places in Tamil Nadu, where we have power shortage and this internet facility is also going up and down. Anyway, continuing with my earlier discussion on dairy farming, I will be suggesting to start with a minimum standard of 4 to 5 milk animals and having simultaneously a field to grow and cultivate the green fodder. The basic dependence on the concentrated feed is not advisable. Of course, that is essential, as we do take concentrated feed in our daily food support. But the green fodder substitute is the main source of energy, protein, vitamins, and all digestive materials, ingredient necessary for the milk animals. Now, what I would be next to suggest, I would like to suggest is the basic aspect of feeding the cows should be taken care of. Second is selection of animals. Selection of animals is the most important aspect in dairy farming. I would suggest, instead of going for a milk animal already having 2 or 3 lactations, 2 or 3 yields already, one can start with after the first coughing. After the first coughing is done, if the cow and the calf are selected or approved by the veterinarian, it is preferable to have a veterinarian parallel support in selection of the milk animals, because his support and knowledge is essential in this. Basically, what do we do? We take the local mediators or local contact people and go to different places for selection of animals. There, the pricing, the quality of the animal, or the breed, everything is only orally dependent by us from the knowledge that we acquire from the surroundings. Instead, if a vet is available to us, then he can contribute to a major extent in selecting the animal. By my own experience, I have come to know basic 4 to 5 qualities that are looked into while selecting the animal. First and foremost would be the skin and the teeth, the number of teeth and the skin. So as far as skin is concerned, if it is smooth and if it is not very hard and it has a very soft touch, then the animal can be certified as a good selection. Then the horns. Horns should never be parallel, protruding on the sideways. It should have either bent inwards or having, yes, what do you call, reverted in towards inner forehorns. Then the teeth. Then one has to see if the selection of the animal location is nearby. Then he can go and have the milk yield verified, either for 1 day at least, because in the morning and evening he has to assure himself that the supply of milk, the milk that you get from the cow, is up to the standard level of the pricing of the cow. The milk production and the pricing are interrelated. For a quality animal, the yield can be varying from 5 to 5 liters in the morning and 4 liters in the evening, or 5 and 3.5, or 4.5 and 3.5. If anything lesser than that, then the feed cost, the labor cost and maintenance cost, everything will negate the business standards. So basically what we do is to see at least your animal is able to give you, the milk animal is able to give you 5 to 4, minimum a 7, maximum 10. The pricing can be from 25,000 to 30,000. That is the standard format that we adopt while selecting the milch animal. For a milch animal that is supplying from 7 liters to 10 liters, the pricing can be from 25,000 to 30,000. Then you have to see, you have to take it around. It has to be soft. It should not have some unfamiliar attitude approach, or having little bit of uneasiness with the purchaser or the one who is going to own the milch animal. So that is another aspect. So far, the cows are concerned, this problem will never occur. Almost, except for HF varieties, all other animals, milch animals, will be having a sober and very reasonable way. It will be very acquiescent with the purchaser, and he can take it to his barn and have it for 2 to 3 days, acclimatize it to the surroundings and all that. Sometimes when it comes to a different place, the lactation, the yield may be lesser. So by proper what do you call, by proper adhering to its expectations, its feeding time and everything, it can come into normalcy. Then the feeding, as I told you, for any animal, it should be corresponding to 5 times, roughly I will say, for an animal strength of 200 kg to 300 kg. Animal feed, concentrated feed can vary from 5 kg in the morning to 4 kg in the evening, and supplemented by the dry fodder and green fodder. Then the other aspect that I would like to suggest is one's responsibilities in maintaining the dairy farm and the cleanliness and the standards of its environment, surroundings and everything. That is equally related. Then there are basically one has to concentrate equally on the calf, because the calf is the most important asset in dairy farming, because you get it almost as free of cost, or it is coming as an add-on with the cow when you select it. So it has to be your basic capital input, and that is going to give you its return after 18 months, say after 18 months and another 10 months of its pregnancy period. So it should, anyway, within 2.5 years, it should become another input for you and supporting the dairy business. There are various other aspects in the dairy farming. Basically, I would suggest these are broad aspects that one has to look into. I would give you the basic guidelines. Now you have to look at the housing for dairy cattle, and next is location of the dairy building, then topography and drainage, then soil type, then exposure to the sun and protection from the wind, then accessibility to the building, and durability and attractiveness, then water supply, surroundings, labor, marketing, electricity, facilities, labor, food, and then comes the types of housing, whether it is tail to tail or face to face system. The perfect system of having a dairy barn is yet to be established. Everybody has their own standards, their own idea of having a dairy cow barn. But I would suggest a well-planned, well-executed dairy barn is always easy to maintain, easy to clean, easy to do all your daily activities without much of strain and labor. So with these formal words, I think I can come to my presentation ending, and those who would like to participate and have their own experience shared with them, or ask any questions which I will be able to tell as far as my experience and knowledge is concerned. Thank you.
Thank you for the information, Mr. Raghupati.
Hello?
Audience, you can start your questions. Mr. Girish, Rakesh, and Mr. Habib. Mr. Rakesh, it's already done, no?
Yes, yes.
Like he was disconnected and he connected back and continued. Okay. Okay, no problem. If you have questions, you can ask. Mr. Girish, you can also continue, ask your questions. And Ms. Manisha and Priyanka as well. Okay, Mr. Habib, yeah, starting a dairy farm with 4 to 5 animals, what is the cutout of the investment down if started near a city?
4 to 5 animals, starting a dairy farm. I would say the cost of the animals would be around 1.5 lakhs. If you are going down the line, less than 1.5 lakhs, then you have to compromise on the quality of the animal, the milk yield, the output, and the return on your investment. And having a dairy farm with 4 to 5 animals would require a manpower of 2 persons at least. That can be the optimum level. One person can manage, but an additional manpower will always be useful when one is not able to attend to the basic daily routine. Then the other infrastructure, that would be around minimum 1 to 1.5 lakhs. Having the floor, pakka flooring, and pakka shed, roof, water facility, borewell, overhead tank, then electricity, then the grazing yard. If you want to start it near a city, then near a city means there won't be any grazing ground, because basically this livestock, they should have a minimum health exercise. Even for humans, we suggest a daily walking routine. For animals, as livestock, they should have some movement. They should not be tied down in one place all the 24 hours. They should have a grazing ground. But in villages, in our places, we have a lot of grazing grounds. We take them to the river for bathing. We take them for day-to-day, say at least minimum 1 to 2 kilometers. But within a city, it may not be possible. But at least if we have 2 separate floors, 2 separate, say, I said this tail to tail or face to face. You can say if you have 4 to 5 animals, then have another stretch of piece accommodating the same 4 to 5 animals on the opposite side. So you will have at least a moving of the cows from one end to another. I would say maximum 3 lakhs would be ideal to start a dairy farm with 4 to 5 animals.
Okay, Mr. Rakesh has question. What are the basic machinery required along with a small dairy farm, say 10 buffalo?
Buffalo?
Yeah.
See, basically buffaloes, they are not normally tied down to the barn. They should have a larger area to move around. See, a tank, water tank, or some gutter yard. Everything is suitable for them because it needs lot of surroundings to protect its day-to-day living from the output surrounding area. For everything, basic machinery means, I would say, except a milk machine, I don't foresee any basic machinery required. More breeds, I would say HF, there is one problem with HF is, though the output or output of the milk is a little bit more when compared to other country ones. I would say Darbarkar or Sindh or Jersey, they will be ideally suited. They can withstand the climate, whether in any part of India, whatever may be the odds, it can withstand the heat, rain, anything that, from my experience, I have found. The normal country breeds, they survive more than the modified or the genetically improved varieties. That I would say will be the most suitable in Indian conditions.
Okay. Audience, please continue with the questions. And what is the ideal vaccination you recommend for dairy animals?
Vaccination, it has to start from the day, say I would say within 15 days. 15 days when the first calf is coming out, when the cow delivers its first calf, 15th day the first vaccination should be done. First vaccination for all the ailments that it might have accrued while it was in the womb and during the 15 days. And that would be better done by the qualified veterinary doctor. He has this standard because they charge a minimum of 10 to 20 rupees, 30 rupees, maximum that is the thing they charge. Vaccination is done by them, and after 15 days, it is advisable to do it once in 30 days, minimum till 6 months. After 6 months, every 3 months, you have to do vaccination. You have to do all the required injections to remove all the ailments that would be accruing during its feeding period.
Okay. Audience, any more questions? Mr. Habib and Rakesh? Mr. Girish? Okay, we have another question. Due to bad weather conditions, there is a high probability of water contamination. What are the diseases dairy animals can get infected because of water?
1 minute. What is the previous question?
One second, thank you.
Due to bad weather conditions, there are high probability of water contamination. Water contamination, I would say, prevention is better than cure. Basically, if you start from the calf, giving boiled water, a warm water, through these injections, 10 ml or 30 or 20 ml injections, and normally what we do is we take directly from the borewell. We don't even take it to the overhead tank. If you anyway, as for the household, what do? You take the water to the water tank, and for cooking purpose, you similarly take the fresh water from the tap. You have two separate connections. Similarly, there can be two separate taps. One that can one can go to the water tank. One can go to the cow barn, and the vessel should be pakka cleaned both the times, morning and evening. After concentrated feed is given, you clean it first. You clean it pakka with soap water, everything. Then from the borewell directly or from the overhead tank, which is cleaned periodically, then there is water contamination may not arise. If due to water contamination, if you have any infections, naturally a qualified veterinarian will be able to help you. But basically, this is the major disease, this bloat and tympani. This is the what we call, the stomach is getting enlarged. For that, you have to do this carbohydrated, that is because of the 4 different stomachs that the cows have. Then you have this hypoglycemia. For these things, naturally you have to go for treatment from the through the doctor. That I would, because all said and done, a qualified person is one. When we get ill, we normally go to a doctor. We are not advised to take our own medicines. That is not recommended. Similarly, for in any case of emergency, difficulty, it is better to consult a veterinarian nearby, and instead of having our own treatment. But basically, the feeding should be pakka, feeding time should not vary. Fresh water, as I said, is essential. That will be able to do it.
Okay.
Basic medicine. Do we need basic medicine to keep cows? Basic medicine, except this once in a while, what do you, as suggested by the doctor, or periodical visits, I don't think there is no need for keeping basic medicines. There is no need for basic. When you are able to give you this grain fodder and pure concentrated feed and clean water, then the necessity of keeping any medicine for that, for any illness, that may not arise. But there are a lot of country medicines. Basically, this what do we call this neem? Neem is one product which has lot of curing effects. When you give neem and this Sesbania grandiflora. Sesbania grandiflora. These two I would suggest. A daily input of Sesbania grandiflora and neem leaves. Neem leaves, we say cattle do not take it. But from my experience, I have found when you mix it with other green feeds, it is the most digestive, curative effect for all the basic ailments.
Mr. Habib has question. Sorry, Mr. Girish has question. If we wish to start the dairy with 25 animals, what should be the size of the land?
25 animals. You will need minimum 3,000 square feet, because the milk animal should be tied on the sideways. So at most you can have 10 animals at one stretch. On the opposite side, you have to exchange them after for cleaning, for drying the area, for removing the dung, for doing all those cleaning materials. So I think it would be minimum 2,500 square feet to 3,000 square feet for keeping 25 animals. That should be the size of the land. This is apart from the cultivable land for supplying the green fodder.
Okay. Mr. Habib has question. For starting dairy, do you recommend cow or buffalo, and why?
First, there is one question before the castor oil.
Yeah.
Castor oil, normally that is done while manual milking is done. Castor oil as such, that is not. See, basically, for some ailments, when you mix castor oil with turmeric and apply it to the skin or the udder area or wherever infection or skin infection is there, this has a tremendous effect. Neem leaf paste, castor oil and turmeric. These three put together, I have seen that they have a very, very high effective curing for the ailment. So castor oil for milking and as such for mixing it with the turmeric and the neem leaves. That would be ideal. Then for starting the dairy, do you recommend for cow or buffalo? I would suggest cow because of two things. Easy to maintain, easy to adhere to its expectations, the feeding. See, cows do not expect you to take around for a longer area, but buffaloes should in any way should be taken around for grazing as well as for bathing as well as for protecting itself from the environment. So I would suggest cows would be ideal because the cost of the cows are comparably lesser than buffaloes. We can start a dairy farm with the cows of 4 to 5 animals at a standard price of 30,000. It will come to 1,50,000. For buffaloes, it is not at all possible. Whether it is Murray or whatever may be the variety, that is definitely not possible.
Okay.
So I would suggest cows to start a dairy farm.
Okay. Mr. Girish has question, what is the land required for cultivation of fodder and for 25?
I told you in the initially, for every five animals, you should have 1 acreage. 2.5 acreage is called 1 hectare. So 1 acre of land, whether you call it tika or whatever it is, I don't know the corresponding measurement in your area, but I can say hectare is uniform standard. So 2.5 acre is 1 hectare. I would suggest 1 acre is minimum for 5 cows. That means it can supply all the green fodder varieties. You can have trees all around, bamboo leaves. If you grow bamboo leaves all around, then that is an ideal fodder. Then this grandiflora I suggested, then neem, then this COFS4 or this jover. Jover is one ideal fodder. So like for that you will require minimum 1 acre for every 5 animals.
Okay.
You can multiply for 25 animals, 5 acres. I have a strength of dairy farm with 21 animals. I have 6 acreage, wherein I cultivate jover, COFSO, and this grandiflora, this neem trees, and everything are there. Shades are there. Grazing area is there. Adjacent to the fields, grazing area is there.
Okay. Mr. Rakesh has question, is it recommended to do climate control during extreme summer and winter seasons?
Yes, if it can be affordable, that would be again adding to your input cost. What do you do for climate control? I can say pedestal fans. What I have put is ceiling fans in my earlier cow barn. Now I have switched over to a technically NABARD suggested tail to tail facing cow barn for all the 21 animals. 10 this side, 10 that side. What I would do after morning milking is done, feeding is done, I would take them away to the nearby fields. So cleaning will be done till 2:30, 3 o'clock, and it will get dry. Then the cows will enter, they have water, they have this concentrated feed, then milking is done. Then after at around 5 to 6, you have green fodder coming from the field, then it is supplied, then it is given. 100 degrees centigrade of temperature during any part of the, except acute summer in the month of May, which may touch around more than 105. Other than that, it is not that much dry. But in other parts of country in India, definitely you have bad weather conditions. Controlling, I would say, this bamboo 30s, I think, bamboo 30s, over the, in between the roof, and above the cow's head, if you have some parallel structures, then you can put bamboo tatties. Bamboo tatties are bamboos are affordable, cheaper and durable. So if you have bamboo stripe tatties, then that can have a climate control effect during summer. Winter, I think that there won't be winter if you have pakka walls all around. Winter effect will not be there. Winter effect will not be that much affecting.
Okay. Mr. Ganesh, any more questions? And Mr. Habib, Rakesh? Okay. It is regarding the installation of biogas unit.
Biogas. Basically, I have not attempted it because of two things. One, the manual labor required for maintaining a biogas plant, that is, you have to put liquid dung. You have to water it down and then pour it, take it to the plant and do all those. I have seen my uncle in old days in Mysore. He had about 10 to 12 cows at that time. He did everything. There was no physical help available. Even if physical help is available, biogas plant, unless it is supported by NABARD or some government of India agency, then it may be possible. But you need manual labor to maintain a biogas unit. At the same time, what about the consumption? Unless you have around more than 25 to 30 animals, a biogas unit will be workable. But less than that, biogas plant may not be workable, because then how to take the output to nearby household, to nearby areas? Do you have factories? Do you have consumption units? Those things are to be considered. We have one cow barn in our nearby place with about 300 to 400 milk animals. They have it, but they do it for all their entire factory, entire temple area, entire manpower, cooking, kitchen, everything. So for them it may be possible. For a lesser dairy unit, I think biogas unit may not be that much workable.
Okay. Mr. Rakesh has a question. What is the ideal time for milking cows or buffaloes during various seasons?
Morning, whether it is summer, winter, whatever may be, I would suggest by 6 your milking should be done, should be over. Evening, maximum 4 o'clock, 4:30. Beyond that, I think that may not be advisable, because you have to do other things. You have to clean the area, you have to measure it, you have to take it to the store, and then you have to put the green fodder. All those things are there. So morning before 6:30, evening before 4:30. That would be ideal time. Hello?